Hey everyone, this is Mike Coffin again here at Crucible Krav Maga. This is part 4 of our Bully-Proof online series here that we've been going through. And in this section, we're going to go through what the kids can do. Okay, so in the last section, we dealt with what parents need to do, dealing with the administrators, how to determine what bullying is, and of course, why we're doing all that. Now in this section, we're going to go through what the kids can do. On the kids' side, the thing to understand is that both from the bullies and those being bullied, it almost always boils down to one thing, which is self-esteem. Okay, self-esteem. I either need to try to build my self-esteem up by bullying someone, or I don't have enough self-esteem to stand up to someone. Okay, or my self-esteem isn't to the point where if somebody says something hurtful, that it destroys me, that I let it destroy me. All right. Now, here in the workshop, we're going to work on those things a little bit. And in general, in our daily classes with kids and with adults, we're building up self-esteem. All right. And we've had hundreds and hundreds of kids in here before doing this, and we've seen this repeatedly where training in self-defense, I like to say, if you bring a bully into the class, they will stop being a bully because they will have built themselves up. If you bring the person or the child being bullied into class, they will also stop being bullied because their self-esteem and self-confidence is much higher as well. So it really benefits both. So if your kid is one or the other, bring them in and we're going to help on the daily classes. Now, what can the kids do? Number one, of course, they have to tell someone, right? They have to tell an adult. And so we're going to work on with them with how to communicate with an adult, right? They need to tell someone. Now, why wouldn't a kid, put yourself in their shoes? Why wouldn't you tell someone? Or maybe you yourself have been bullied at one point. Why didn't you tell someone? Yeah, it's because you were embarrassed in a lot of cases, or you didn't want to ruffle the, make waves. You didn't want to cause problems. You didn't want to get adults involved, right? These are things that are scary sometimes to children. And a lot of times, of course, they're embarrassed that they're the one being bullied as if it's somehow their fault. So we need to communicate to them that's not their fault. Talked about that in the last video. But on the kids' side now in the workshop, we need to tell them that this is okay. And in this environment here where you're getting to work with the parents and the adults, parents and the children at the same time, we can have that conversation and we can build that common language for them. The next thing kids can do, of course, is start documenting on their own, right? Such and such happened. Whether they put it into a diary or they put it to their phone. Of course, if they tell their parents, that would be ideal. But if they have any idea of what's happening, that would be fantastic. The third thing that they can do is to start dealing with it on the physical side a bit. Okay, so now let's say that I've done all these things, I've tried to de-escalate, I've told someone about it, and now someone is continuing to push me or physically put themselves and imposing on top of me. Okay, there is a point when the child needs to have some sort of response. Just like you, if you were an adult outside and somebody's pushing you around, there's a point when you don't want that to happen anymore. The same with the child. Okay, we don't want them punching people. We don't want them hurting anyone, of course, but we do want them standing up for themselves. And so as part of the workshop, we're going to teach them some basic techniques that they can do. Not necessarily having to hurt someone, right? That's the last thing we always want to do, but really how to protect themselves. And the truth of the matter is, in self-defense training, the more we learn to protect ourselves, really the more we learn to protect everyone. So not only me, also the bully, but also all the other people around. So what else can kids do? If they see someone being bullied, they can step in. Now, in our world, we call that third-party protection or bystander intervention, right? Those are the catch terms for it. And they're a little bit different. Third-party protection means that's my friend, I want to protect my friend. So I'm willing to step in because that's my friend. Bystander intervention is I come around the corner, I see two people, one of them's being bullied and one of them's the bully, and I don't know these people very well. Am I willing to step in? Now, there is a lot of discussion, and we can go through it, about what happens during bystander intervention, right? First of all, you need to recognize that it's a problem. If you don't know what bullying is, you don't recognize it's a problem. The second thing is you realize it's reached a point where something needs to happen. Okay? Somebody has to step in and do something. Then I have to realize I'm that person. I'm the one who has to step in, or I have to lead a group of people in. Hey guys, let's go help him out, right? If I'm part of a larger group. The next thing that has to happen is, well, what do I do, right? So if something's happening, how do I step in? And then the last thing, of course, how do I do this safely? Because if you think that if you step in, you're going to get hurt or there's going to be blowback on you, you may not do it. So those are all the steps. And that's why in most cases, for adults or for kids, in most cases, nobody steps in. There's an interesting statistic, which we'll put up on the screen here, that something like 90% of the time, when there's bullying happening at school, adults do nothing. Okay, so imagine how hard it is for your 8 or 9 or 10-year-old to step into a bullying situation when 90% of the time adults won't step in. All right, so kind of wrap your head around that. So we need to teach them safely how to defend themselves so that they can go help other kids as well. All right. In part 5 of the series, the next part here, we're going to talk about how kids and parents can work together. And so stay tuned for that video.